Okay, we're going to look into disturbing cults that are showing up in America and perhaps around the world. We'll focus on one of them slightly, but also in many facets of the cult that is around this concept here, because they have no unity to them whatsoever. In fact, pretty much fight each other. This is one called the Hebrew Israelites, where the primitive West Africans think that they were somehow the Hebrews of the Bible, the Caucasians with their Caucasian book, and leading up through Rome and everything else. And so you can see that they also, there are ones who think they're a black Jesus, which of course these guys are totally opposed against, because Christianity here is 666 and the devil, and they want to sit around on their little PA system and talk crap. They've got an old crappy van that looks like some type of hey kid, want some candy shit, and they pull up around places and try to have a public area where what they do is, if you look, they all stare down, get in these stances like this guy. Look, he's all puffed out chest, looking all and got his arms all bent, got his fists, got things on his arms. He's all I could kill somebody. And you see this idiot here looking through the Caucasian book. He's about to try to read, and then this guy here, his hands are also clenched. His hands clenched in tune too, and you'll see other black people standing around giggling on the fact that these guys are legally talking crap to white people about their religion. But hold on, the key is they say it's their religion, that somehow West African primitives that were brought over here in the Jewish slave trade by the Caucasian Jewish slave masters, not the whiteys that they blame for it, like the people that are walking in front of them and are mad as hell at, but the actual Jew people that they seem to love and adopt the Bible and now follow the teachings of, to try to hurt and dissuade and eliminate white people and let Jews rise above, which are of course Caucasians, and then they'll just enslave Negroids again. It's a hilarious ploy that's going on, and they're falling right into it like a deep trap. But let's look into this delusion here, because you can see this lady here, she's talking on the phone. She's going by and like, what the hell are these crazy black people doing? This guy kind of leaning in, and if he speaks to them, they all just start going off like crazy. They won't let you speak. They start talking over you like black people do. It's an incredible farce. Let's look into this delusion, or this religion, and what they have going on here. They call it a religion, but it's not. Delusions of grandeur. A delusion is a false belief held by a person. It contradicts reality, or what is commonly considered true. The strength of a delusion is based on how much a person believes it. Specifically, a delusion of grandeur is a person's belief that they are somehow other than who they are, such as a supernatural figure or a celebrity. A delusion of grandeur may also be a belief that they have special abilities, possessions, or powers, like magic melanin somehow. Delusions are generally the result of mental health disorder. However, not all people with delusions meet the full diagnostic criteria for any mental health disorder. Many types of mental health disorders classified as psychotic disorders can lead to schizophrenia, bipolar, dementia, delirium, major depressive disorder with psychotic features. Psychotic disorders can also change a person's sense of reality. They may be unable to tell what's real and what's not. Types of delusions of grandeur contain four main characteristics. The person having the belief believes it to be true, even when the existing norm and other people know it to be untrue. The person having the delusion will not listen to any other viewpoints about the belief and will not consider change when the evidence challenges the delusion. In fact, quite often they'll get angry. The content of the delusion is impossible or implausible also, but yet they still cling to it. The delusion impacts that person's daily life. Delusions of grandeur can take many forms, such as beliefs of having a special ability, object, or even talents. The person with the delusion may believe that they have a secret talent, object, or ability that no one else has or even knows about. For example, they may believe they possess a secret record of Elvis Presley that no one else knows about, or something special, or special knowledge that no one knows. They believe that they're a famous person. A person with delusions of grandeur may actually believe that they are famous people and that the real famous person is an imposter or decoy, as shown in the Hebrew Israelites. They believe they have a secret connection. This delusion involves believing in a special and sometimes secret connection or relationship with someone or something important. For example, a person with this delusion of grandeur may believe that they are a spy, or that they alone are responsible for laying messages to the president or other world leaders. Sometimes black people believe that they have a connection with God, which is a Caucasian Bible and belief, and actually they're not even mentioned in the book. Religious grandeur. A person with religious themed delusions of grandeur may believe that they are a religious leader whenever they're just delusionary. This can cause mass delusion, where you can take other low IQ people and get them deceived into believing this similar mass delusion. It even happened to white people whenever Jim Jones killed all the people in Guyana with drinking the Kool-Aid. People know about these type of things, and some of these cults that have formed out. Most of them are considered dangerous to themselves and humanity. How to spot them? Well, delusions of grandeur can be difficult to identify because the person having them believes delusions to be true. Also, delusions can be hard to distinguish from what is called an overvalued idea, or a belief a person has that isn't just totally accurate, but isn't exactly a delusion either. One study used an example of gambling. A person is a regular gambler, they probably believe that they have an ability that allows them to win. But when this generally is not considered a delusion of grandeur, it's a belief that they might have luck or things like that. The key marker of delusions of grandeur is that they're not tied to a person's experiences. So a person who regularly gambles and believes he is close to winning, even if he's not, isn't necessarily delusional. This is because the belief is tied to the action. A delusion, on the other hand, is usually not related to anything happening in life at the moment, like reality. A delusion of grandeur would be more like a belief that you can fly, or that black people used to fly, and there are books about that, or that you're secretly the star of a reality TV show, like somehow you're in, the fantasy world of Jim Carrey and everybody's watching you like on TV. A delusion of grandeur is easy to spot if it occurs with other mental health symptoms. Delusions of grandeur are more common with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. If a person has a history of bipolar disorder and it has had delusionary thoughts in the past, delusions are more likely to happen again, of course. In some cases, delusions can also be brought on and intensified by the uses of substances such as alcohol and marijuana. Also, keep watch for the effects the belief is on a person's life. If a person's belief is so great that it has changed how the person lives life or performs daily activities, it could be a delusion. Now, we'll look at some options in a moment, but let's look at this. It's quite interesting.
Now, historically, it had always been thought that melanin played a significant role in the intellectual propensity of African people. For example, when you study some of the Greek writings on melanin or the color of Africans, many of the Greek philosophers believed that melanin played some sort of a role in how Africans had been able to create and develop some of the sciences that they had come to be known for. So melanin was always considered an intellectual sort of a chemical.
So they try to get you to believe that whenever they're speaking about Africans, that they're possibly not talking about North African and Caucasians and East African Egyptians that are Caucasians that have been there since primordial times and all the way around the entire Mediterranean. They want you to somehow foolishly believe that all Africa was black, just right up there to the point where it glitches in, though the people that are saying this are the West Africans who never even knew the rest of the world existed. It's hilarious and kind of disgusting, but it gets worse, and here's a delusion on what their black skin means.
The pineal gland, which produces melanin, it's shaped like a pine cone, and the origin of the word pineal literally means resembling a pine cone.
This is true, and you see this in the Caucasian religions, and there are no pine trees in Africa. Right. This association is made currently now, and the only reason he has that knowledge is from God, Gnostics themselves speaking these facts. Caucasian Gnostics. Now they consider themselves to be Gnostics and going to try to steal the religion in Egypt and all these things, and it's really disgusting, a lie, and pitiful. But we'll continue.
Now, in ancient symbolisms, the pine cone has always been represented because people knew the importance of the pineal gland as it related to melanin and the universe.
No, it never related to melanin in any way, shape, or form. In fact, a neat, interesting fact is that melatonin, the excretion from the pineal gland itself, which is kind of known as the third eye of enlightenment inside your head, regulates sleep programs, and it also secretes melatonin, which is a known skin lightener. And some people's hasn't really worked too well, apparently. And the people that know the information he's talking about and the people that knew it were these super intelligent Caucasians that led the world and made these incredible buildings like in the background. And there is nothing like that in sub-Saharan Africa, and probably won't for a long time. They have some cities now that are made by Caucasians all around in the colonialized areas. Now they're going to try to claim that. I wonder how long until they go, we built all this. Probably already. I know the African Americans try to tell you that type stuff, but if you went there, they wouldn't be able to say that lie.
Melanin is a molecule.
Mm-hmm.
And the concept of melanin is, it is black in its nature.
There are three types of melanin. There's a reddish form, a yellow, and a black. And black people don't contain many of one and a hell of a lot of another. It's kind of a hindrance to them. It causes them vitamin D3 deficiencies, all kinds of other issues. Their skin gets ashy, and it can help with diabetes and circulation problems. There's a lot of things that go on, but and this guy is one of the retarded ones out of the group.
And we find it in the cosmos, we find it in the heavens, we find it in water, we find it in land, we find it in everything.
Did he just say that there's melanin in the cosmos? That there's melanin in water, which is just H2O. There is no melanin chemical. Did he say it's in the ground? Is he trying to say it's what makes dirt colorful? Is he attempting to equate all this worldly cosmic things to Negroid skin being black? Is this a delusion of grandeur?
Thing that exists.
The sperm of the male and the egg of the woman, they're both layered with melanin.
Mm-hmm.
So that when the sperm penetrates the egg, there is a melanin explosion. And that melanin helps to formulate the fetus within that egg. And that fetus is literally coated with a melanin substance. And that melanin substance then goes on to form the brain and the central nervous system. So every human being begins with a melanin explosion.
Melanin?
Yeah, melanin. Yeah, it everybody is, and white and black people have it and everything too now. White people have that somewhat magical, adaptable melanin where they can go from real pale to real dark. Listen to what this admixed, extremely pale black man, who apparently doesn't have much of his melanin left, is going to attempt to tell you what melanin is, as he wears a Caucasian symbol on his head, mocking Caucasian religions as if he had a part of it.
Is that intelligence?
Melanin is intelligence?
It's an intelligence because it is the dynamic, the primary dynamic in every part of the cell. It's a primary dynamic in the core of the human being as well as to the surface of the human being. Its intelligence is responsible for the forming of the nervous system. Every part of the nervous system has these little black dots all through it, which essentially carry information.
Those are actually nerves, and they're not melanin. And the nervous system is not formed from melanin. It's formed by the DNA. And the DNA is the intelligence. And DNA doesn't contain melanin, nor any of the glucosides that are in it contain melanin. Melanin is something totally different. But these delusional people are going to try to get black people to have pride in their dark skin that they currently hate, and try to bleach themselves and chemical peel and stay out of the sun, which causes vitamin D3 deficiencies, which would be extremely bad on Negroids, especially in America and up north, anywhere of the northern hemisphere, except for we put vitamin D3 in milk and all types of things to help alleviate, and they don't have a problem. They don't appreciate any of this. In fact, they call it a lie. They say they're immune to skin cancer and all these strange lies. Bob Marley would tell you that's not true, but I digress. We'll continue.
So melanin, from a physical standpoint, is that substance that accounts for what black people refer to as soul. We move differently, we walk differently, we talk differently, because we have access to a different form of energy than other folk.
Not only
Did he just say the stupidest thing yet? Black people have special access to energy. This is your delusions of grandeur and this illusionary thoughts they have. What could he possibly follow that lie up with?
is melanin a pigment, which is so obvious, but melanin as an intelligence is a communications module that essentially broadcasts as well as receives information by way of light and sound frequency signatures.
Well, I think we can see this as a clear example of delusions of grandeur and total outright lies. And this breeds racism and hatred. It's disgusting. And it makes black people get all puffed up about a lie. And the rest of the world kind of sees this, like that lady going by that kind of looked strange at him, like, the hell you really thinking, are you? Losing their minds. So what are your options? Well, if you have any concerns about your thoughts, or if you think a loved one may be having delusional thoughts of grandeur, you should seek a doctor. A psychiatrist is the preferred expert, but a general practitioner can help you with a referral to a psychologist. Research shows cognitive behavioral therapy can help treat delusions of grandeur. And these Hebrew Israelites, these black Jesus believers, or black people that believe they're actually listed in the Bible, should probably seek this. But it wants to tell you, but the outcome depends on the underlying mental health disorder and how deep it goes. It also goes with the brain's capacity to be able to comprehend, which shows you how they got that way in the first place. If you have any thoughts about harming yourself or others, like as in shown and constantly spoke about by the black Hebrew Israelites, where they believe next year in 2019 it'll be 400 years of slavery and oppression they went through that's listed in the Bible in Deuteronomy. And even though they didn't last 400 years, and whitey, the ones they hate, are the ones that stopped slavery, and black people enabled it by capturing and selling their own people like a drive-through slave mart, want you to believe that now whitey's going to all of a sudden go into slavery, which has been abolished in the world, and the only place that's a haven for it at all is still in Africa, where they were doing it before anybody ever got there, capturing and selling each other around and using it as currency and things like cattle. It's kind of disgusting, and it still goes on. In fact, there are more black people in Africa enslaved by other blacks than there ever were in North America at any one time, but most black people don't know that or anything else about their history, and if they do, they say it's fake, made up by whitey to deceive them on the fact that they're really space gods and the people of the Bible. They never had a system of writing, and they were at a pre-Stone Age level when we found them, illiterate and cannibalistic, all kinds of terrible things, and it still goes on to this day. And after giving them thousands of years, they still haven't evolved out of it in any way, shape, or form. But they want you to believe that, but the ones that want you to believe it are the ones that have been domesticated. It's kind of disgusting, and they hate the people that help them from being so primitive. So a mental health emergency is just as real as any other kind of emergency, people. So you can call the hotline from the National Alliance on Mental Illness Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern at 1-800-950-NAMI. You can also just text NAMI 741-741 anytime for help for you, a friend, or a Negroid that you've seen that it thinks that he's a Hebrew, or that is just delusional in any way, that thinks that he is somehow not a recently domesticated West African primitive. The takeaway from this is that if you think you've had delusions of grandeur, people, know that you're not alone. Many people face mental health challenges, and resources are available to help you manage your health You can seek anonymously online help. You don't have to let everybody know that you're not a dung hut anymore and things. You can really just come out of it yourself. And of course, you'll have to quit exposing yourself to people like that. The doctor will always tell you that. You know, you can confide in a trusted friend who can help arrange you maybe to see the specialist. All these options get you started on bettering your mental health. So when you see things like black people saying that they're going to enslave whites and that they praise Yahaya and they start making things out of the Tetragrammaton and all kinds of falsities, and you see this and how they want to oppress whites and things, how they won't accept any of the truth and reality, and they dress in clown suits and they make up all kinds of things. I mean, you know, it's kind of, you yank them through about 40,000 years worth of evolution, and it's really starting to screw things up. But you can see there are things like this guy here, why I left. That's a woman, I guess. Why I left the Hebrew Israelite religion, throwing a finger up and everything. Why? Because it's a lie. It's just dung hut dreams. You see this guy over here, I don't know if you can see him here, he's standing in the Baphomet pose, which of course everybody thought is satanic and everything else, except he doesn't have his hands right, and he also doesn't know its symbology or what it means, but he's mimicking. There's a lot of these mimickers out here. Sad thing is they want to twist everything around. They want to sit on street corners and start talking crap to people that are actually involved in the Bible and did bring our world into civilization. They did not. They want to show you things like Michael Jackson's video where there were some blacks. So now that's got to be true. They grew up with that enough that they're deluded to believe that. It's kind of disgusting. And you see all of this information here and what they want to do. And do they want to unify people anyway? No, they don't want to unify. What they want to do is show you this type aspect where they're going to come whop you on the head like that symbology that's in every Egyptian tomb of the tanned Caucasian man whopping on the head, quite often Negroids. Should be a picture of that somewhere, but it won't be in this because I just looked up black Hebrew Israelites. But let's, oh, well, damn, there it is. So here we see the picture in question. And if we look kind of closely here, you'll tell that he's the same tan color as this guy and this guy, which one of them is a Canaanite and the other one is an Israelite. And then tucked back here in the back is the only Negro, and he's got his little hand. He's about to bop him on the head. Yep, smiting the vile Negroid troglodytes with his aquiline looks and his non-prognostic jaw and his Caucasianness. There for all time written in stone, and it won't be changed, deviated, or lied about. So next time you see some of these wannabes in their earth, wind, and fire clown suits, you might just shake your head. You might give them the number to the mental health board. But you'll never give them any respect. It's backfiring on them. Will not stand. Foolishness. An enemy within. Those who say they are the Hebrews but are not. Delusions of Grandeur. Dung hut dreams.